Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Dan Soder, and you're watching The Barn.
Hi, and welcome to the barn, live from the barn studio. You got the Mox here, joined with Chuck, and via Zoom right now, Mr. Dan Soder. Dan, how are you, man?
What's up, guys?
What's up, buddy?
What's going on?
Not a whole lot. Hey, we're excited. The Golden Retriever of Comedy Tour, St. Louis, Missouri,
Yeah.
Chesterfield, basically St. Louis, at the
Yeah, just
factory.
outside, just outside.
Yeah. Did they have to tell you that, or were you aware already?
I wasn't aware of that at all. I just knew it was at the factory, and then I was like, hey, this is a place, right? This isn't an actual factory. And they're like, no, you'll be all right.
Yeah, it's actually a killer venue.
Oh, it's nice.
Yeah, you're going to love it.
Yeah.
Saturday, November 22nd, shows at 6, doors are at 7, all ages, and I can get tickets on dansoder.com. Dan, how are you, man?
Good, man. How you two doing?
Doing really well. Thanks for joining us today. We are big fans and big comedy fans in general. So, again, thanks for doing this. We're excited to chat with you today.
Dude, thanks. Yeah, man, I'm excited. St. Louis has been it's been like one of those cities that I love coming to because I feel like cities like St. Louis appreciate comedy more than a lot of places because you have the worst weather in the United States, where it's just like during the summer, hot and muggy and like just thick. The air is thick, and then in the winter, it's just ice. It's
We
just
need to
like
laugh,
ice.
man. Yeah, we need to laugh.
St. Louis gets abused in a way that it makes me realize it's a great comedy and sports town. I hated you guys when you had the Rams, and then I felt genuinely bad when they took them from you. When they took the Rams from St. Louis as a 49er fan, I was kind of like, I was fucked up. I liked playing you guys. I liked going against St. Louis. I didn't want you guys to go to LA again.
Dude, a guy named Stanley Ennis Kroenke. Stanley, he was named after Stan the Man Musial and
Yeah.
Ennis Slaughter, the famous Cardinals from St. Louis that took the Rams from us.
We're
Yeah.
out here.
Yeah, what?
Well, what's interesting about Kroenke is, I'm a 49er fan, but I grew up in Denver, and Kroenke owns the Nuggets and the Avs, and he owns a ton of stuff. He basically owns most of Denver real estate wise.
Jeez.
Yeah, I liked that St. Louis Rams and 49ers. We had a little beef there going for a while. Remember what was it? Kenny Norton Jr. was hitting the heavy bag on the goalpost. You remember
Yeah,
that?
dude, you guys the thing about the Rams were they were kind of like a joke for a lot of my life, especially when they were in LA. But when they moved to St. Louis is when you guys got Dick Vermeil and the greatest show on turf. That was when you guys when you guys got Falk and Torrey Holt and Isaac Bruce, and it was just like you guys got really good, and it upset me. You guys also kind of that you guys changed the colors to a cooler look. The Rams looked cooler in St. Louis with the darker blue and the darker gold, and then you had that like Ram logo. I hated you guys. You guys got so good. We were so dominant for so long in the NFC West that when St. Louis got good, it was like, oh shit, I hate this team.
I remember the first time we beat the 49ers. It was like the first time in a long time, and it was a big deal around here.
Yeah, I can imagine. I think I grew up like privileged as a football fan because the Niners were so good you didn't realize. And then after going through the years of sucking after 2001 when DeBartolo sold the team, it just made me appreciate cities that have shitty teams that get good. And I think St. Louis, you know how I could tell you guys were a good sports team? Because when you guys lost the Rams and the XFL showed up, you guys sold out those games.
Oh yeah, we
You
would
would-
kill it on that.
And you want to talk about a good time? That was a party. It felt like Mardi Gras at the stadium. It was
Yeah.
really fun.
St. Louis needs a football team. I think you guys need an NFL team.
Absolutely.
I want an NBA team too. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, St. Louis is just, you guys love the Blues and then obviously the Cardinals fan base is like legendary.
Yeah.
I'm a Giants fan, so we got you in 2014 in that 7-game NLCS.
Yeah, and then the Kyle, what the hell was his? He's a white guy with a Japanese last name. Hit that home run.
What are you talking about? The Giants?
Yeah,
Who fucking did that? I don't know, man. My brain's got so much
Drives
resin
me
around
crazy.
it
yeah.
that I barely remember the pitching staff. But
You would only know his name for that 15 minutes anyway. But
yeah. But yes, you guys got Cardinals fans, or you guys are about it, and I feel like you guys always get put second to Cubs fans. which probably has to piss you guys off because everyone's like, Cubs fans are so about it. And you're like, dude, there was a girl I worked with that was from St. Louis that was such a Cardinals fan that I was like, I was joking around when you guys were in the World Series against, I think, the Rangers. And I was making fun of her, and I've never seen a girl not take a joke about sports to the point where she wants to fight like a dude like that. I was like, oh shit, Cardinals fans are really about it.
That happened to me in Alabama. I went down to Alabama, Gulf Shores, Alabama with my family. I went to get a hat, and I'm a Miami Hurricanes fan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get a hat, and I'm looking around at hat, and this guy was looking over my shoulder. I would pick up a hat, and he'd go, "You don't like Alabama?" And I'm like,
Oh my
"Well, I mean,
God.
no, I'm the Hurricanes fan." He got into it. I go, "Why do you sell any other hats? Why do you? If you're going to be pissed off at somebody for picking up another hat, why sell any other hats? Just sell Alabama, so don't piss
Just
you off."
open an Alabama store, you idiot.
Yeah, dude.
Change the sign out front.
Yeah.
Good
I hate
Lord,
that.
man.
How do you? I mean, you said you grew up in Colorado. How did you end up such a San Francisco fan?
Well, I was born on the East Coast, but my dad's from the Bay Area. And so when I was born, it was like immediately into 49ers and the Giants. I don't think there was even any like up for debate. It was just since I was a baby, it was the 49ers and the Giants. And I just followed it and I loved it. And then we moved to Denver when I was like 5 or 6. And I didn't get into the Broncos. I didn't get into the Rockies. And then I chose to like the Nuggets because the rest of my dad's family was Warrior fans. And I was just kind of over the Warrior. This is like early 90s. I was like, I'm going to be a Nuggets fan. So
Yeah.
I'm all over the map.
It took a long time for that one to work out, but it did.
Oh my God, dude! Especially going through an entire dynasty of the Warriors and my entire dad's side of the family reminding me that I chose not to be a fan of theirs.
Yeesh.
So
My grandmother was like, "You chose this," and I was like, "All right, shut up."
So you're going to be the judge and jury on this. So when the Rams left, there was a small group of people that like continued their fandom for the L.A. Rams.
Sure.
Then there was a small contingent that became Chiefs fans because Kansas City, the stadium's actually in Missouri, but it feels more Kansas, right?
Sure.
And then there's some like me that become a fan of somebody else completely, just entirely different. What would you, if you had a situation like that, where would you lean or what's the right call on that?
I don't think you can follow the team to a new city. I just don't see how that is like if there was before the 49ers built the Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, there was a brief rumor that they were going to be relocated to Los Angeles. This is before LA got you guys, and they were looking for a team, and the rumor was that they were going to approve the stadium and the 49ers were going to move to LA. I would have been off the bandwagon immediately. I would have been gone. I would have given away all my Niners stuff. I would have kept my San Francisco 49ers stuff, but I would have kept it in a box tucked away and I wouldn't have wore it. But I couldn't move to another team in the state. Like if I would have lost the 49ers to LA, I wouldn't have gone to the Chargers or I wouldn't have gone, even to like Arizona or something close. So I think picking a new team is the way to go. And I think you should pick it on the merch, what merch you want to wear. I would probably go, and I'm saying if this ever happened and the 49ers got moved out of San Francisco, I would probably go to the Denver Broncos. I would probably become a Denver Broncos fan. That would be my only path to being a Broncos fan.
That's a good franchise. That's a fun one.
I grew up watching their games. I grew up loving Elway, but it was forced on me so much that I was just kind of like, no, I'm a 49ers fan. It's like when a waiter keeps trying to fill your glass of water, your glass of water, and you're like, hey, I've got water. I'm good. I don't need it. And they'd be like, no, you should be a Broncos fan. And you're like, hey, I'm fucking good. I told you. Please leave me alone. Keep it in your pants.
It's good when it works out. I said I was a Miami Hurricanes fan. I grew up in Florida. I moved to Missouri when I was 13. But I loved the Buffalo Bills when I was younger because Jim Kelly, Miami quarterback,
obviously.
So then the Rams came, and by the time the Rams were done, I think that Kroenke was tanking the team trying to get them out of here. God! When they left, actually, I was like, thank God I ain't got to be a Rams fan anymore.
Well, Sam Bradford.
So I was like,
good
man. I'm looking into the Bills, and they're throwing each other through tables and shit. I'm like, oh yeah. And then they got Allen. I'm like, I struck gold somehow.
Yeah, that is great. That is almost like the perfect situation for fandom where you go, that's like bumping into your high school sweetheart and she's a knockout now after you've gone through a bad divorce.
Yeah.
She's just like, I still talk to your sister. And you're like, oh my God, this was meant to be.
Well, I ended up a Packers fan, which it's okay.
Not bad. Great history in a fantastic place right now. And I would say good gear. They do have good gear.
Yeah, they do.
Green
Yeah.
and yellow is hard to pull off, but they do it. And I don't
They
like
were in
the
last night.
Oh yeah, I didn't like
Oh
it.
yeah, but let me tell you something. My fiance made a good point with those helmets. I don't know if you guys saw the Steelers game last week where they were doing the throwback to the 30s, but we were watching that game and Katie was like, "It's the helmets that are throwing me off. They should do like an old leather helmet." Even though I didn't like the look, I thought the Packers pulled it off better than the Steelers because of the way the helmets were.
The Steelers one just didn't make sense. It looked like a road sign or something, like a
Yeah, it did exactly what it did. It looked like like you were driving through a construction zone.
yeah. Just I think you're so used to seeing, and I like the new flavor on, like the all white Packers jerseys, and
Sure.
I like some of that. But yeah, for me, it's the history. I love the history of football. I love the history of sports. I love the history in general. So that's why me and my family kind of, went in that way. And we visited Lambeau and just fell in love with it. And
Oh my God, what a cool, I mean, it's a pain in the ass to get to, but what a cool ass stadium. What a cool town. And I would argue you can't go to Kansas City because it's just, that's just weird to me. That's like back in the day when travelers were going west and someone would die and then their brother would just marry the wife. It's like, don't do that. Don't fucking do that. Go let her find someone else. And I just also hate the Chiefs because they beat the Niners twice in the Super Bowl. So
Oh, I'm a Bills fan, buddy. I can't stand the Chiefs.
I hate them.
Oh, dear
My
Lord.
buddy works for the Chiefs. My buddy Rob works for the Chiefs, and he's great. He used to work for the 49ers, and that's how I met him. But he works for the Chiefs now, and I'm in Kansas City the night before St. Louis, and he's coming to the show, and he was like, "You got to come to a game. We got to get you to a game." And you're like, "You absolutely do not have to." I hate that fucking. Oh, I'm there the night before. I'm in Kansas City the 21st. Then I'm in
That's
St.
right,
Louis the
yep.
22nd.
Yep.
So what's funny is he's like, "Oh, you should come back and go to a game." And you're like, "I genuinely hate your team. Like there isn't anybody, there's nobody where I can go." I liked the Chiefs for like 3 months when Joe Montana was a quarterback there, but
That's
that
right.
was the only reason. And I hate the Chiefs now. So no,
There's so many these damn fans. I always tell people they have their Chiefs because I'm a Bills fan, and if I
Sure.
put that, Chiefs, I'm like, show me your Jamal Charles jersey instead of your Patrick.
Yeah.
Show me your Jamal Charles jersey. I'll believe you.
Yeah, show me your old school like Derek Thomas jersey. Show me
Yeah,
like
Neil Smith or something.
yeah,
like
Neil Smith
Yeah.
ruled. You know what?
Christian
Oh, yeah, dude.
Christian
Yeah.
McCoy was the man.
Sure.
And that is the thing with dude. I saw Katie showed me a tweet that was like someone was like it was a tweet from a Chiefs fan and they were like, "Every week I'm just so nervous," and then they pull it off, and then the guy quote tweeted it and was like, "Man, say what you will about Patriots fans, but they were way better at being the villain. At least they wanted the smoke." And I was like, I do agree with that because that whole like Kansas City, they are a dynasty, and then they have that like Midwest of like, "Oh gee, I hope it works out." And it's like, shut the fuck up. Be evil. You're evil now. No one likes you. The Patriots were so good at becoming that and like being in that role of being like, "What the fuck you want to do? It's Tom Brady." You know what I mean? And you're like, you guys were, and that's what I liked about Patriots fans. They were good. They knew they were good, and they were dicks about it. And you're like, that's what's up.
Yeah, I put a post on Facebook yesterday when the Bills were playing them because Patrick Mahomes has as of yesterday had a career completion percentage of 66.6, and I said proof that he sold his soul to Satan.
Yeah, there it is. I mean, I was so glad the Bills won that last night. I thought the Chiefs were going to come back even with like
Me
13
too.
seconds. I was like, don't give him the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we could sit here and talk about this all day, but I guess we got some comedy to talk about. Like we said, you're going to be playing the factory and you're going out on a theater tour. And that's obviously,
Yeah.
I mean, you've hit the road for many, many years, played any and all the types of different clubs. Is playing a theater club, is that obviously different than playing something small?
Yeah, dude, it's awesome. I mean, it's like, I'll obviously be back in comedy clubs after this tour for a little bit and when I'm building the new hour and stuff, but being able to do theater shows, man, it's incredible. It's just what I like about it is it's just like everyone's focused on the show. There isn't like America's Funniest Home Video highlights before the show playing and like burgers and wings and beer and everyone like worried about that stuff. You're like, when you're doing comedy in a club, you're competing with snacks and like drinks and like all this other shit. And then when you do it in the theater, you're like, everyone's faced forward. They're here because they know why they're here. They didn't get like, it's not like a bachelorette party that's like, we bought 20 tickets and they do crowd work. They're just like, we like your comedy. We're here to see it. And the shows have been unbelievable. You know, the tour started in September and it's just been awesome.
Is it a different muscle? Is it a different muscle for you to work through? I mean,
yeah, I would say, you know, it's funny, man, because it's like I got so used to doing comedy clubs, and then, you know, comedy clubs, you fly in on a Thursday, you do one show, then you do two shows on Friday, two shows on Saturday, sometimes a show on Sunday, and fly out. So you're there for 3 or 4 days. So you have a chance to like sink into your hotel room, find out where you like to get food, where you're going to get coffee during the day, that kind of stuff. What I'm noticing is on this theater tour, man, is it is hard to travel every day to a new city. It makes me think completely differently about rock bands and musicians, because it's like, man, I would say the shows are more fun and the travel is just like 10 times harder. It's just like, it's a lot. Got to get up and go.
anyone that follows your career knows that you are just a fan of comedy and
Yeah, I love it. I love
have
it.
been since, you know, you're a kid. Removing yourself from it, just as a fan, what are your thoughts like on the state of comedy now? Because it's having a really popular time right now, and I think there's a lot of reasons for that. Some podcasts, some, you know, clips and crowd work stuff, and you hear that some people have issues with that at times. But what are your thoughts on the state of comedy right now?
I think I think there's so much of it that there isn't just a broad opinion of it. I think there's a lot of very, very good young comedians coming up that are very, very funny. And it's fun to watch them kind of evolve and be like, I don't know. There's just like a lot of comics in New York and young comics in LA and young comics in Austin that I've watched and I've been like, man, there are some really good young comics. That being said, I think podcasting is killing stand-up for a lot of people, because I think I think you're a little overexposed on podcasts as far as what you need to be for stand-up. I think stand-up really should be I don't know, man, like ideally, if I had my ideal world, I would just do stand-ups and sell tickets that way, but that's not the way the modern world is built. So you have to have a place for people to land, to check in, to know when you're on the road and shit. So I would say, I think we're on the downslope of the popularity of comedians in general, but I think stand-up comedy is still very popular because there's a lot of people doing it really, really good.
Nowadays it seems like the way that people consume it have changed a lot. I haven't seen any great comedy movies in a long, long time.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I think that's a great point that I haven't even heard yet, but you're right. I think that is the cause. I think the cause of the lack of comedy movies is, number one, the industry in general is just in shambles because of streaming and because of stuff like YouTube and stuff like Instagram, where now that whole industry that was built is just like, now it's all just like, oh, I can go find the comic myself. Sorry, man. They had, we have those, like, in New York, they don't have central cooling. They have like the individual units. And this is the one time of year where they like change out the filters and stuff so that it doesn't catch on fire.
Real life, man. Real life.
I've seen this video. The plumber shows up.
Yeah.
Somebody.
Yeah, it's like a podcast porno. Where you go, I just happen to be podcasting. Do you want to jump on the mic?
The guy's going to walk behind you without any clothes on.
Have a hot take. Yeah, man, but it is. I think like the travel, I think as far as like movies go, that is a really good point. That I think like if there wasn't as much shit going on right now as far as like extracurricular activities, and if the studios were still, I don't know how to say this, but like important. I don't know anybody that's like excited to make a comedy movie outside of like 4 guys that have the power to do it. I don't see anybody like writing movies and shit anymore. Everyone now is like writing skits and other shit like that they can just put out themselves, so they don't have to edit it or do any of that shit.
It seems like maybe we are missing out on like the different kind of comedians that shine in movies, like Jim Carrey, like Rowan Atkinson, and people like that. They're probably out there. They don't have a vehicle to go with. There's no way to find them. I mean, I think you look at a guy like Jim Carrey and he's like obviously one of the greatest of all time, but then like
people are like, his stand up was really good. And you go watch his stand up and you're like, yo, that shit is straight up from the 80s. Just
Yes,
like face movements and shit, where it's like how important he was and how good he was in the 90s versus like, kind of like when you watch his stand up from the 80s, you're like, oh, I wouldn't have liked it. If I would have saw him just do stand up, I would have been like, no, thanks. But then you watch Ace Ventura and you're like, this is one of the funniest movies of all time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some people I feel like were cut out for the stage, and maybe they get their start in stand up and end up
Yeah.
somewhere else. Or
Yeah, that was also that used to be a big thing, man. It was always used to be like a launching pad, and I think it still kind of is. I think there are people in stand up that don't really want to be doing stand up, but they just have to for money, and you kind of see them, and you're like, no, man, let it be your launching pad, and you can go away. You know, like I don't think anyone's gonna be mad if you go away and on to other things, but you're also seeing the age of greed, man. We are in the greediest time ever, and motherfuckers are just like, I want to take all I can, and you're like, I don't know, man. I just wish we'd go back to making good shit.
Yeah, just the art, man.
Yeah.
Not the greed, the art, man. So you're on a list of a pretty good list of people who were cut from Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey, David
Hold on,
Cross.
before we get into this, let me make sure that hold on. Before we get into this,
Yeah, you're good.
we're gonna go down this painful road. Hold on.
So, well, that was actually a question. So go.
time you weren't hired.
That was a worst timing ever. Those guys really picked, because those guys, my wife was getting changed when they came to do it this morning, and she literally was in the bedroom, and it's like, we live in an apartment complex in New York, so it's like, to get one of these guys over to do this takes fucking forever. And I was like, no, my wife's getting changed, she's getting ready for work, I'll be right back. And then she left, and I went down to a different floor and got them and came up, and then it was like an hour and a half later, and they're like, we're here. And you're like, of course, right when I'm doing this podcast.
They give you one of those windows, like we'll be here between 1 and 7.
That's exactly it. Where you're like, okay, dude. And what's lucky is in like 15 minutes, I got to take a dump in a shower and go do my podcast. But it was funny to be like, please don't come when I'm taking a dump. So it was much better than it was during the podcast. Because I don't know if you've ever had a door knocked when you're pooping, and it is like, I just get mad at the world where I'm like, it's falling out of me. I cannot get up. When I used to live in Queens, the delivery guy was just fucking bang. I lived on the first floor, and just to get into the building, they'd just like bang on my door, and I'd be like, I'm pooping. And one time I like opened the door and I was like, I was shitting, and the guy's like, my bad, I'm just trying to get in the building. And you're like, well, now I feel like the villain.
Well, hey, we only got a couple more for you. We won't.
No, but you were saying about the list of SNL names that got cut. Jim Carrey was one of them.
Yeah, Jim Carrey, David Cross. I love David Cross stand-up. David Cross, Kevin Hart. I mean, the list goes on and on. Does something like that crush you in the moment, or do you does it fire you up like, all right, I'm going to show these assholes they made a mistake?
Yeah, it's like being 7 foot tall and being able to lay up the ball with both hands, and the NBA is like, nah, you're not right for the NBA, and you're like, I kind of feel like I was born to do this, but okay.
Yeah.
You go, yeah, sure. You know what it was, man? I wasn't confident enough. I don't think I was confident enough with my audition. I don't think I knew myself well enough. And I also think that show wouldn't have been the best for me. I think that show would have, the way that the stress level is with them and the way that they like the competition there, I think it would have, would have been more of a subtraction than an addition.
You have a lot of voices and impressions and all that would have been perfect for there. Is there a voice that you just can't nail? You want to nail? You have material. If I could just freaking nail this.
Yeah, Bernie Mac. I'm trying to get a Bernie Mac. I'm trying to get a good Bernie Mac. I think it's in the same registry as Rodney Dangerfield, which I have. So I feel like I could probably get there. But I've wanted to learn how to do a Bernie Mac, for like a great Bernie Mac. I don't want to do just like a good Bernie Mac. I want like a fantastic Bernie Mac, because I think he was like one of the funniest people of all time.
Oh, legend, man!
I want some milk and cookies.
Yeah, yeah. And I've been getting the like, you son of a bitch, but it's close to Dangerfield. You son of a bitch! I ain't afraid of you, but I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it down, and because I don't know. Like when you nail something, it is fun to fuck around with.
Mm-hmm. That Kings of Comedy DVD at the time and that tour, was that a game changer for comedy, would you say?
Yeah, absolutely. I think what it was is it showed a lot of white people black comedy for the first time. I think there was a lot of white people that only saw Carson or fucking, Comedy Central, which showed black comics, but that was like a unapologetic black comedy show. Everyone was dressed up. It was an arena in Charlotte, and they were just kind of like, we're gonna fucking, this is black comedy. I loved it. First time I watched it blew my mind because I was like, damn, all of these guys are so solid. And then it was like, and then Bernie Mac, you're like, well, he's the best of all time. Like you watch that set and you go, well, it's clear why he's going last.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. It was the first time I think you two had ever heard of Cedric the Entertainer. He's from St. Louis.
Yeah.
Oh man, Cedric is unbelievable. I think that like Steve Harvey, that got me into Steve Harvey. That got me into D.L. Hughley. I mean, that got me into everything. But specifically what it did is it made me like go like, damn, Bernie Mac is the fucking man.
Yeah.
And then I loved the Bernie Mac show. And then it was just like, but yeah, I think that Kings of Comedy was a very important movie for stand-up.
Would you say Bernie had the best set on that?
Yeah, easily. I don't think anyone even touched him. Cedric was the only one that came close to touching him. DL had some really good jokes, but Cedric was the only one that came close to touching Bernie's set on that.
Yeah.
Not surprising. Bernie, unbelievable.
Yeah, he's the man.
Yeah, I want to ask you about Norm. I know you're a big Norm fan, and Norm is my all-time favorite comedian. And
yeah, I think he's the funniest of all time.
Yeah, and I would say like not even stand-up, just comedic.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He was just the funniest of all time. I just don't think there's anyone that can be funnier than Norm Macdonald.
What I loved about him is, a lot of his stuff came off as super juvenile, the dead hooker and the
oh yeah
drunk kind of stuff. But it was, if you're really a fan of comedy and a fan of Norms, that there was a lot of intellect behind that. And I don't know, just wanted to get your opinion about Norm. If you have some,
I think he did it right. I think he just did it right. I think he was himself the entire time. I think he was funny the entire time. I don't think he ever took anything too seriously. I mean, not even cancer. You know what I mean? Like the guy fought it, didn't even did a whole bit about it. I just think he was the best. I think he was the best, and I think he was the funniest. And I think it was awesome to be alive at the same time as him. And the influence of his Weekend Update on me as a kid was massive because it was the first time I ever saw something on TV where I thought it was really funny and the audience didn't. And I was right. That was like the first time where I was like, no, I love these jokes. Because when he was coming after Michael Jackson, it was like, people don't understand. Michael Jackson was bigger. He was like, if you took Sabrina Carpenter, Beyonce, like Post Malone, Jelly Roll, like 7 people and combined their popularity, you got what Michael Jackson was. And Norm Macdonald just went after it. And the OJ jokes. I think Norm was just the man.
He was always zigging when everybody was zagging. Like the roast, he comes out and intentionally bombs. That's
genius. Great.
Unbelievable.
It was great.
Reading a newspaper or something.
He flips it shut. He goes,
yeah.
What? I think anybody would love to watch that. He was just like a guy that marched, it's such a fucking dumb thing to say, but it's true. He just marched to the beat of his own drum. And I think as someone that grew up a people pleaser, I think I saw something like that, and I was like, dude, that guy doesn't give a shit.
When you're on podcasts or in anything, is there ever a point where you say a joke, you're like, damn it, I wish I would have said it on there? That
happened a lot with the bonfire. Where like we would be saying something and then I would say something that I thought of as like a stand-up joke, and it would work as a joke on the show, but then you're like, well, that's fucked. Use that. And I think I, a couple times would say something even on the show and then come up with a premise and be like, I had a joke in my HBO special about Michael Jackson, the Neverland Ranch documentary. And I talked about watching it, making me realize that Hulk Hogan could have fucked me if he wanted to when I was a kid. And that was something, yeah, exactly. That was something that when we were watching the trailer for the documentary on the bonfire, I think I just said out loud where I was like, oh man, Joe Montana and Hulk Hogan could have easily fucked me. They're just showing about how like how he like Michael Jackson like paid for the kids' vacation. And I know people want to go, that's not true, whatever. I'm talking specifically about how I reacted to the trailer of the documentary. And then it was like, well, I'm gonna do that as a bit. But that's what I like. That's why I said I kind of wish I could get away from podcasting, is just so that you didn't hear my thoughts until you saw my stand-up. Because that's what I always liked growing up as a stand-up fan was I would wait to see guys and then they would have all new stuff. And then it's like, oh, like that's what I do now with the bigger comics like Chappelle or Louis or Burr. Like I won't watch them work out at the Cellar. I'll wait until it comes out as a special because I want to keep that like surprise of like, oh, that bit's right, or
Yeah.
All right, man. Appreciate it so much. Dan Soder, the Golden Retriever of Comedy Tour, St. Louis at the Factory, Saturday, November 22nd. Shows at 6, doors at 7. All ages, we're going to be there. DanSoder.com. On the Road is available on YouTube now. Thanks so much for doing this, man.
dude, I appreciate you guys having me on, man. And I'll see you guys in a couple weeks. I'm excited.
Right.
Come on it's outside of St. Louis.
Outside. Yeah, about 10, 15 miles. But we
That's
could,
it.
we're Midwest. So we're an hour south of St. Louis and we're still St. Louis. So
There you go.
it's all St.
You guys
Louis.
are good up there. Dude, thank you guys so much for having me on.